I am Mukti Ananda Ma, and today I am being beckoned by my team and the consciousness that is presenting itself most strongly is that of beloved Babaji. And so I will allow that communication to move through me in whatever way I am able. Often with Babaji, for the limited mortal host, the transmission needed to be indirect. So we shall see if it will be indirect today or if the current state of the embodiment of this localized consciousness can hold a more direct communication. It is very good, Mukti Ananda Ma. I've been calling you, and you have arrived here now in this moment. Do you like the breadcrumbs that we are laying for you, taking you to Satguru and to the others, that you are receiving these transmissions, these remembrances, allowing this consciousness of Mukti Ananda Ma to remember all the streams of life that you have lived? Reflections on the screen, these remembrances help the stabilization of Mukti Ananda Ma and her consciousness. It is very good. It is good indeed. You are walking now upon the cliff, the edge of which you must jump. Don't worry, I am there at the bottom. All is being arranged. It is being arranged. You have already begun the teachings of the eternal ways, in the construct, the lineage, the matrix, if you will, of the adventure of a mass awakening, which will resurrect this dream of mortals remembering their eternal nature and overcoming death. I sense the loneliness of the hearts on this path, for there is no group to join or master in the reality to follow. This teaching comes direct. And following the guidance to offer these teachings as they are revealed To you are the Mukti Ananda Ma through this body, this limited body of death. By sharing these in the way that we have guided them to be shared, they are not teachings, but they are energetic transmissions that will begin to ignite the matrix of those who hold it on their direct teaching path. But this loneliness is not necessary. For we are here, and as the consciousness of Mukti Ananda Ma takes over the life, the ability to interact with us will be opened, since these senses, these heightened senses of the five senses will take place, being able to see the higher vibrational realities that are before you even now. I before you now. That loneliness is both Mukti Ananda Ma's and the limited self, who recognizes that currently she is companionless in her awakened state. Even the reflections of Satguru and others still not a resonating match to the enlightened and awakened state that she is experiencing. And for Mukti Ananda Ma, the life of the eternal reality she calls Ilarian, this world that holds much of her consciousness and embodiment, is still fresh. This life she remembers. And so the heart is sad, lonely. This loneliness, or aloneness, is part of the process, the journey. Saying goodbye to the known, even for Mukti Ananda Ma. Between the known, the unknown, and then the known again, in the unknown, there is that sense of loneliness, the letting go, the goodbye. But it is good, it is okay. It is the way. For in this aloneness, this oneness aloneness, this void of not knowing, the new matrix of the new paradigm of the new world, of which you are part of, can be born without the vibrations of the old, the frequencies of the old, the habits of the old. You will see that much of the habits that moved you through a day are of no interest. They are losing interest, and yet you still, as of yet, partake. But we see the budding of these new habits of your new being, of this eternal being, born of a mortal body. The eternal being born of a mortal body. The womb of the eternal being, being a mortal body. This is joy, giving birth to one's own self. So Mukti, we give you an embrace. We are sending something marvelous to you. Hold on, dear, hold on. It is coming. You sense already it. I bless you, giving you the ointment of bliss today. Receive it now. And we will take your questions.
Thank you. Your love is palpable and appreciated. I have a few questions in regards to transfiguration. Is that experienced as a gradual repatterning, or is it more of a specific jump in regards to the mass awakening?
For some, it will be experienced as a jump, and for others, it's gradual. For this particular host, it has been more gradual, but there will come a tipping point. It's kind of like investing. It's very quiet, and then suddenly, boom. You will see this very quiet and suddenly boom in many areas of life reflected back to you. Next.
Is there a way to recognize those thresholds in yourself, to like a positive feedback loop, to see evidence of the transfiguration?
The greatest way to recognize it is if you see it in your own mind. This is the most fruitful and powerful sign to focus on, that you can rest in, that you can be gladdened by. If you have a vision of it, this is very good, very good, very good. This is the best sign, if you will, if that is what you're looking for.
Thank you. What separates or distinguishes a transcending death while embodied from the more traditional model where you rely on physical death?
Yes, ask again in a different way.
I guess, are there dangers to bypassing the death door prematurely, like a premature ticket?
Are there dangers? Such as?
It not sticking and one falling back to acclimation, to limitation. How to focus on the new world and let go of the focus on that.
Yes, your question is very muddled. Get to the heart of the question.
I guess, how does one stay focused on where one is going since it's new in consciousness?
How would you answer someone that says, how do I pay attention?
Focus?
Yes, the question contains the answer. How do you focus? You focus. How do you pay attention? You pay attention. You only do that.
So Mukti had said yesterday that you're in both worlds, like almost like a yin yang. You're holding both states. And so I'm just wondering how that can be done while still holding your state of being the way it should be.
When you become identified with the truth that you are source and life itself, all is contained in that. You are not only two identities, but you are all that you see and experience in the world. You're holding all of it. And so the identification as an identity or as who you are is bigger than anything that shows up in it, including an embodiment. Could be 2 embodiments, it could be 1,000,000,000 embodiments.
I guess it's interesting to consider that in this time we're going to hold a mortal and immortal consciousness together and carry that frequency to others.
Yes, because the vocalized consciousness is aware that it is the one that can experience both. The experiencer experiences all. It is not either this nor that. It is all. And so, as all that is, which is already happening, it's as if the toe was acting independently of the knee. And then, as the body becomes aware that it is a whole, the toe and the knee move together. And together they walk. And so it's the same with identity. You become a body that contains two, both the toe and the knee, and together they walk.
I guess, thank you. That makes a lot of sense. I guess when you have stuff left over from the limited identity that I want to say bothers you, but it comes up.
Who has stuff?
Let's say in myself.
Who is this self you're pointing to? The one that recognizes the limited identity is not the limited identity. It's something else.
Right, but we're holding both.
Who's holding?
Well, I guess the immortal consciousness is holding both the mortal
and is there any problem for the larger consciousness to see both simultaneously?
No. And I guess it's letting go of the limited while still holding the consciousness of both.
It's becoming the identity that you really are, which is no thing, nowhere, and all in everything. And in that, there is no problem. Some take it slower to become bigger and bigger identities. The bigger identity able to contain the smaller identity or identities. Some reach that tipping point and become the all that contains all identities, and then moves as one body, with one focus, with one purpose. And the hand knows what to do, the foot knows what to do, it all knows what to do. You don't need to think, I move my toe this way and my knee moves this way, and you do that every time you walk. The hip, the knee, the toe, all the identities move in unison with that oneness of being. And
right.
that is how it is done.
Are there any tools for myself and others that when they get stuck in consciousness, instead of just letting it...
Be aware of the one who is witnessing the stuckness.
Is there a specific feeling or indicator when the infinite intelligence is leading the dance? Is there a way to recognize that?
You are looking for approval all the time. It's better to investigate and to see what you see than, oh, am I doing it right? We have already answered that question many times. But the one that is seeking approval and being right is getting in the way of seeing. Come with an attitude of investigation, of curiosity to discover who you are, to play in the sensing fields and knowing fields. Be a discoverer rather than a knowledge or an intellect gatherer of other people's experience. You become the investigator. You become the mystic. You find the answers within. And with that, then the right and the wrong will move out of the way, and real direct experience and knowledge will be available.
And is this just meditating and going into the unknown?
Investigating always, well, no matter what you're doing. Meditation is sort of training, but eventually that bleeds into every moment. This investigation, this curiosity, this exploration of consciousness, no matter where you are or what you're doing.
And are there thresholds awakening to new levels of consciousness that are distinct and it's continuous?
I don't know what that means.
Well, there is more than one enlightenment and more than one awakening.
And your point?
Is it apparent and obvious?
What difference does it make? Again, you're looking for proof or validation. That only comes from within, from one that does not seek that. And that will only happen when it only matters what you are doing with you.
Well, I feel like I had a large awakening, the most definitive one, when I was 6. And I don't want to call it complacency, but there is exploring my entire life. But that was the largest breakthrough I can define experientially.
And your point?
I guess, I don't know if it's that you're saying it's validation, which it must be. I guess I would like to see more progress.
And how are you defining progress?
Awakening to new levels of consciousness.
And are you not doing that?
Yes.
So it's already happening.
Right.
You have gotten yourself in a loop of validation, of proof, needing proof of your development. And we would give you the recommendation to stop it. For in doing that, you are slowing it down, the thing that you seek, because it only can be found within you, your own validation, through your own explorations. Very simply, we would say, begin the love affair between you and you, which is all that is. And that begins inside and then expands to all that is experienced in your reality. So that all that you experience in your reality, you recognize as you, your consciousness played out on the screen. We feel like we should move on to another question.
Thank you. Yes, it feels very profound. I feel often things are perfect, and then there are surroundings outside me that point to the fact that they may not be.
Boy, you're letting the outside dictate the inside. We're letting the echoes of the past focus your internal focus, which then creates more echoes of the past.
And how does one hold limitation, these two states, and not cause these echoes of the past?
We've already answered this. We've already told you how two states of being are held. They can only be held by one that is neither state of being, but both at the same time, that recognizes that they are all that is, so that the body is whole and the identities are really one, but different aspects of the one, like the toe and the knee. We invite you to go back and listen to this until you can receive the fullness of the transmission, for we are answering the same question in different forms the same way. Move on to a next question.
You speak of DNA, or Mukti did, as consciousness, permeated by the identity of death. What specifically is transfiguring here? Is it the biology, the perception, or both?
It's all consciousness. This is the confusion of many. There is nothing but consciousness or God, however you want to name it, but there is only one thing that shape shifts into all these different expressions: biological, chemical, mind, matter. It's all the same thing. DNA is just a symbol of a pattern in consciousness, and that is it.
And how do you maintain this living authentically when the outer world has not yet formed this image of the consciousness that you're embodying?
You live in your internal world while holding the note of the perfection of life when allowed to express without your ideas about it. And then sit back and enjoy the show as it unfolds for you. Everybody wants to get to the end of the movie, but you have come to watch the movie, the beginning, the middle, the end. With every new desire that moves you, every new intention, every new inspiration, the movie is what you are here to experience. So we invite you, when you receive the inner movie, to sit back and allow life to orchestrate from beginning to middle to end the movie that will reflect this inner vision.
Thank you. You spoke of the isolation, the loneliness of Mukti Ananda Ma, And I guess so you're not trying to prevent this isolation when you're living ahead of the visible world. I guess why is that isolation or loneliness important?
It's important to understand so one does not seek in the outer world, trying to alleviate that feeling. It's a real feeling. It's also that which spurs you to keep going. That pull of the heart to find its new resting place of residence. It can be the fuel to drive the effort of expanded consciousness of truth. And so it should neither be rejected, fixed, but embraced and seen for what it is, so that it can do its job.
And so this is giving birth to one's own self, or is there more to that?
To a new self, to a new world, to the impossible dream. Yes, always. When one is giving birth to the new, the new, there is loneliness. There is that gap between letting go of the old and the new forming. That still, lonely, quiet, alone place. Being in that aloneness and not seeing the current reflection of one's inner state can be interpreted as lonely, which the limited identity and Mukti Ananda Ma were feeling. But it is important to understand what that frequency note is about when one is creating this new paradigm without examples or tribes or places to go to resonate with when that does not exist. It's a required or a necessary, well, not even necessary, that's not, it's a part of the unfoldment of bringing in the new and the impossible. We brought it up to encourage Mukti Ananda Ma and the limited identity as a form of encouragement, so that the understanding is there. And efforts are not wasted in trying to fill or fix that loneliness. You asked for a sign, that is a good sign. That your inner desire is in the process of being stabilized and created to be experienced in the outer world.
I had this experience when I was 6, and I could be mistaken, but my experience was I was alone in space forever. And what I thought that to be true, I hid it from myself in a way to enjoy this experience of relationship with oneself here. Is this a false experience or notion that I had?
There is no such thing as false. It's all all, there's no such thing as false. It's just experience. You experience what you experience. You're still trapped in the duality of good, bad, false, true. But from the point of life and oneness, all just is to be experienced, and that is it. And when I say you are trapped, your awareness is fixated on this idea, this duality of good and bad, approved, not approved, right, correct, and that is fine. That can be experienced, but there comes a time when one wishes to get out of that paradigm to experience life without those labels of containment.
So the meaning is what you give it in what you do.
Well, yes, we can paint with the colors of our choosing in any image on the screen. We can make those scary, ugly colors or beautiful colors, but the image or the manifestation is the manifestation.
I, for one, am most weary of limitation, and I'm looking forward to see the boundaries of the limitation that we have been experiencing in this world of death to get weaker. I imagine that's around the corner.
Limitation is always available and is always present. It's the identification with the unlimited that creates movement in the boundaries of the limited so that the limited can experience expansion. That feeling of liberation, which is a perpetual state, it is not something to be felt once, if that makes sense. It's ongoing. So to want to rid yourself of limitation is impossible. Meaning it can be done within time and experiences and unfolding journeys. But limitation always exists in some form because the universe is always expanding beyond something. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So release yourself from the pressure of trying to rid yourself of limitation and instead enjoy the unfoldment of expansion, ever expanding, more and more, beyond and beyond the boundaries.
Thank you.
Very good. We are good for today.
Thank you. Yes.
Many blessings.